both the football team and the Tiger team's losers. The end of an era, the end of the Ryan Silverfield era. And if we go back to Mike Norvell's days, that's 9 years that Ryan Silverfield was around. Enter Charles Huff. Exit, I think, every coach. I believe I heard a story, and I was double-checking today, but I believe all of the remaining staff on Saturday, the day after the Tigers lost in the Gasparilla Bowl, in which they really never gave a fight, if we're going to be frank about it, the whole remaining staff, in other words, all of the other guys that had not been a part of the Silverfield team that went to Arkansas with Ryan, they were all let go, including, unfortunately, in my estimation, Reggie Howard. I thought he deserved, because of his relationships with players, I thought he deserved a real shot at being a part of it. I know he's one of those guys that would like to become a head coach. He was part of a program that Dr. Scott put together of those that aspire to be head coaches, that are younger coaches, that are assistants. Part of this program, I think Doc put together. And I thought, because he kept the team together, and most importantly, because he secured 18 of the commitments to the Tigers that had committed under Ryan Silverfield, that he would be kept on, but apparently that is not the case. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize for saying it, but that is to the best of my knowledge that he is going to. I also know that he had a chance to go to a Power 4 school that he had hoped would wait for the end of this bowl so that he could find out his future. I don't believe that school waited, though, so that is tough on Reggie Howard. The basketball team went to Starkville, and the recipe that they have used in this entire non-conference 4-7 season was right there, smack dab in your face. Silly fouls, lack of execution, having your chances. I think you're the better team, not beating a very average Mississippi State team. You fell behind 10, you come back, you take a lead, you got several chances to increase that lead, and they kept running plays that were good plays. You saw an offense, but the end of the plays somehow ended up in turnovers. Lack of execution. The majority of the turnover plays came in trying to connect with big man Aaron Bradshaw, who just fumbled 3 or 4 easy ones, and he wasn't the only one. Curtis Givens, who led the way with 18 and hit some key threes in that game, he missed a point-blank, easy layup on a fantastic feed from Ashton Hardaway. Went with his left hand, just underneath, uncontested. It didn't go in. But most of the mistakes were Bradshaw just fumbling the ball out of bounds on the baseline. I asked Penny Hardaway, is there something you can do to better a guy's hands? Or is that just a given? And sometimes it doesn't matter. Look at Musa Cisse, who's playing in the NBA. He couldn't grab a ball at all for much of last year. But he said, Dave, it's not hands, it's nerves. So maybe he will get better in that regard with more playing time. We know he's been inspired thanks to Dane Bradshaw, the former Woodland Middle School Warrior, Woodland Presbyterian School, and then White Station Spartan, who broke the story with Tom Hart on their broadcast of the Vanderbilt game, that Aaron Bradshaw was fined for missing a practice or something of that nature, not having the right dress code, basically attitude issues, whatever it was. He was fined $3,000. And since then, he's like averaging 10 points and 3.5 rebounds, which rebounds-wise, that's way up from his career rebound numbers. So Penny has been finding players. We didn't know that, and Penny said this is not the only school that does that. So apparently that's part of the NIL. I'm going to ask Penny about that tonight a little bit more. I find that interesting. The NFL was spectacular over the weekend. Playoff picture a little bit clearer. Again, more injuries. Man, it was hard to tell. If you were watching last night, Lamar Jackson with the Baltimore Ravens makes a great play, goes down, doesn't even seem to be hit. Somebody said there was a knee to the back. I'm not sure I really ever saw it. Somebody said it was a knee to the ribs. I never really saw that, and they got rib protectors. In the end, he left with a back issue, and poor Lamar's had a tough year. The two-time MVP has just been injured a lot. So, I don't know if you'll see him anymore, but the Ravens actually are still in it. We'll try to clear up all of the NFL picture, and we've got medals at the end of the day, but we will clear up the playoff picture with Jeff Moore when he joins us. We're going to be joined in a minute by Kent Ritchie, who is the head of the Landers organization, which I think you all know by now has become a major player in this market on many, many different fronts, starting with the naming of the Landers Center. We'll talk a little business with him and sports as well. He is a prominent supporter of the University of Memphis, and I remind you, you should all head on over to see the beautiful newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis. They have grand opening savings on all the remaining 2024 Escalades. You can save $20,000 in all of that, and they're paying top dollar for all the trades. You can see how much you can save by going with the Landers Easy Pass. Just head to CadillacofMemphis.com for that. Don't miss out on the exceptional grand opening offers. The best new Cadillac models always sell fast, especially when they got the Landers name with them. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. So we are joined now by Kent. We're going to talk with Kent once a month or so. I like picking his brain a little bit. He's also, but besides being the head guy of the Landers brand, he's got one of the best seats in college basketball right next to the bench. He's a guy who played a lot of college basketball as a young man. Kent, I've often wanted to ask you, have you ever had the urge to just sort of whisper some sort of a play or advice to Penny Hardaway when you're right next to him? Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. No, I know my place, and I've got my marching instructions, and Penny's got his team under control. He doesn't need any help from me, but they are great seats.
Boy, they really are. All right, I want to talk a little business with you first, and then we'll get into some sports. I'm curious about the news with a Blue Oval City apparently going a little bit away or completely away. I'm not sure. You tell me. From EV, they're going to the gas trucks that they're going to make. Good, bad, what's your sense of it all? And are we seeing, since Donald Trump came in, an abandonment of going to more EVs?
Well, I'll start with the first. The Blue Oval announcement is a good thing. The market wasn't quite ready for the rapid EV adoption. The infrastructure is not in place, and they are great vehicles. We sell EVs every day in every brand that we have. They're not going away. We'll sell more of them as the market changes. But there have been several changes in the political world that have changed the dynamics of buying an EV. The tax credits have gone away. These fuel economy averages that they were having to meet that was driving some of that's going away too. But Ford in the state of Tennessee have got a huge investment in Blue Oval, upwards of $6 billion, and neither one of them could walk away. So Ford will retool the plant and make internal combustion engines until such time as the market is ready for some other driving force. The SK-OWN, which was a joint partnership of the two companies,
right,
has been dissolved, and now then they'll make batteries to meet whatever the market demands, probably storage batteries, high-capacity storage batteries for businesses and data centers and operations like that. There will still be upwards of 12,000 people employed on that site when it's all up and running.
Wow.
Which is a huge economic driver for this market. It'll just come on a little bit later than everybody thought. The battery plant's completed, and the manufacturing and assembly plant will be retooled and come online a couple of years later. But the good news, it's still coming.
The battery plant, that's interesting to me. Now, they'll still sell EV batteries, right? But not just to Ford?
They can sell to anybody that wants to buy them, and they'll make whatever battery the market demands, whether it's for EVs or storage or whatever. And then Ford and SK had another partnership in Kentucky, and Ford took on that battery plant, I believe, on their own. So everybody's going to come out of this good, and we're still going to get a lot of high paying jobs in this area.
You've got not just Ford, you've got Caterpillar, you've got many brands. Which is the healthiest at the moment of the car manufacturers?
Well, they're all in about the same boat. We have Asian manufacturers and we have Korean manufacturers. We actually sell Chinese-made vehicles. In fact, a lot of them. We have cars from Germany. We have cars from Great Britain, from Mexico, from Canada, and America.
Wow.
So, I mean, literally, right now, they're all doing well. All the brands are pretty healthy. Coincidentally, December is the largest car buying month of the year.
Really?
The manufacturers are all trying to hit their number. The dealerships are all trying to hit their number. People are off, for most of the 2 weeks, and they have time to, kick the tires, so to speak, and buy. And, and money's about as cheap as it's been in 3 years. So that drives a lot of it.
So you're telling me people buy holiday cars? They buy gift cars?
On Christmas Eve, we will be hard-pressed to get out of there, people coming in at the last minute and saying, I need to get my significant other a vehicle, I need to get my college kid a vehicle, I need to get my grandmother a car, and we will be putting bows and selling and delivering cars, as late as people want to do it.
Wow.
It's not just me, it's all dealerships and all manufacturers this month.
I rent a lot of automobiles, as you know. With the Tigers, we go to a city, I get a car, off I go. And I say this often, seriously. I just think any new car, I love those Cadillacs, don't get me wrong, but I think any new car with all this new technology is unbelievable. They're all good. I mean that seriously. So tell me.
It's an iPhone on wheels.
It's crazy. What's going to be the next thing we're going to see? I'm going to buy a car next year. What will I have in that car that I don't have this year?
Well, it will literally drive itself in whatever model and brand you buy. Right now, the technology requires that you keep your eye on the road, and it has a camera that's watching you to make sure you keep your eye on the road. And that's the hot thing in most manufacturers and most vehicles now. And what's coming after that will be the car where you can take your eyes off the road and off the steering wheel and read a book or do everything except take a nap.
When will that happen? Really, seriously, when do you think that'll be the case? Will I be alive for that?
I would say in the next 3 to 4 years.
Wow, I hope I'm alive for that. Man.
They're out there now. You just don't see them, and we don't have them in our marketplace.
I do see them, like in the bigger cities. We've been, like last year in San Francisco, when the Tigers played on their way to Maui, I saw the driverless taxis. I mean, they're crazy all over.
Yeah, they're in several markets. That's pretty common.
All right. Speaking of on the business terms, you are a businessman. I've seen you create this kingdom of cars. But I want to ask you about a different business model, the college business model. Can we sustain this with NIL? You're a guy who's given to the university for years. I'm guessing you're also involved somehow with the NIL, and I don't really know that. I'm just saying maybe you do. Do you think it's sustainable to continue this model of college sports as we know it?
I hope my wife's not listening, but yes, I am involved in NIL, and I know a lot of the players that are in that field too. I think it's broken. I don't think it's sustainable, but I don't see anybody letting go of the rope yet. I think everybody is screaming for help. The ability for coaches to change, before the season's over, or for players to go in the portal before the season's over. You will have teams in the playoffs that will have players in the portal. Oh, how crazy is that? And you just saw all the coaching changes too. And then the sums of money that are flying around are I don't see how it can be. I just don't see how it can be sustained. And it's like the Wild Wild West, and there's got to be some kind of governing board or authority. Right now, it's it's whatever the market will bear, or else you're just going to come down to a small group of deep pocketed schools that just play in their own league. Maybe there's 25 or 30 of them across the country, and maybe that's what happened. But it sure is a hard change to take for all of us.
Well, just to dramatize your point, the Gasparilla Bowl in its own right, the Tigers had several opt-outs. This is the third time Memphis has played with an interim coach. They're 0 for 3, and the other side, the NC State quarterback, I didn't know if he would really play, and I give him a lot of credit. He played really hard and ran the ball, but there are rumors, Kent, that he's already been offered by other P4s, because he's a good player. He's only a sophomore, 5,000 yards passing in 2 years, that he's been offered $4 million a year. Yeah,
well, I think those numbers get blown up and thrown around, because nobody knows. Well, the people that know are not going to say anything about it.
Right.
But it is unsustainable, and a lot of that is their agents blowing those numbers out there. My guys got offered this, and my guys. Well, you don't know until they sign it. But it all starts with the quarterback. You don't have a team if you don't have a quarterback, and you get one of those nailed down, and you got a chance.
Which gets me to our last thing. So Charles Huff is now the Memphis head coach. I don't know if you were at the press conference, which was pretty amazing, but what's your sense of that hire?
I love Ryan Silverfield. We were great friends for a long time, and I wish him well, and I'm going to miss him. But I'm absolutely, totally impressed with Charles Huff. I do know him. He's already driving a new Ford Expedition from Landers Ford.
Wow.
His wife's already driving a new car, and she's still in Hattiesburg. So, yeah, we know him up close and personal. I'm very impressed. I think it was a very good hire that Ed Scott and his team made. I think he's going to be perfect for this transition in this marketplace. You read all the bio and you heard him talk, and he's a dynamic speaker. He's engaging, and you see why he was a recruiter of the year. After I met his wife, I knew he was a real recruiter. She's sharp as a tack too. So I want to miss Ryan for our friendship, and he won 50 games in 6 years, which is unheard of. But I think Coach Huff is the real deal. We're going to support him wholeheartedly, help him out any way that I can. I think he's going to do well, and I think he's going to put a good product on the field. And like he said in his press conference, spot the ball. Let's play.
Let's go. And you can't blame Ryan at all. I mean, how can you turn down $6.5 million a year for 5 years? That's generational wealth. He's got new twins. He's got to take care of his family.
Well, he went from 2.5 to 6.5. And I told him, I said, you'd be crazy not to do this. We wouldn't have been able to pay him that if he had won the national championship.
I hope he bought a Landers car on his way out. Oh, he's going to get a free one at Arkansas. I should I should know.
Older. Well, one of our dealerships in Arkansas furnished him a car
I
when he got off the airplane in Fayetteville.
How many dealerships does Landers have now?
One too many. Always one too many. Dave, I'm going to do something that my guys don't know anything about.
Okay.
So today's the 22nd, right?
Yep.
So we'll make the promo code 1220 Wolotion 1222. Wolotion 1222.
Wolotion 1222. Yeah.
If one of your listeners goes into one of my Lander stores, South Haven, Memphis, or Covington, buys a new or used car between now and when we close on Christmas Eve, all they got to mention is Wolotion 1222, and I'll make them take another $1,000 off, or add $1,000, or write them a check back for $1,000. And my guys don't know about this. The first time they will hear about it is when somebody mentions it, and they will call me and say, "This guy or woman mentioned Wolotion 1222, and it was worth $1,000." I said, "That's right. Cut the deal."
I love it. We're doing it. Thank you, Kent. Merry Christmas. We'll talk in a month.
See you tonight.
You got it. Bye-bye. That's Kent Ritchie, the man, the head of the kingdom that is Landers. Wow. Wolotion 1222. We're going to mark this on the board. You guys got to let everybody know every show, because people can save $1,000. He'll write them a check for $1,000. Love it. I love it. We got to take a break. We're back in just 1 minute. Jeff Moore's going to join us. We talk all NFL. We got medals coming your way in the final segment. Keep it right here on Wolo and Friends.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Come on and let the good times roll, y'all. Or as we say in Louisiana, les le bon temps roulé. The Orleans in the Ville with our made-from-scratch red beans, jambalaya, gumbo, po' boys, and made-fresh daily muffaladas, right here in Collierville. Eat, drink, and stay for dessert like our homemade bread pudding with warm bourbon sauce. Monday through Friday, meat and two with homemade veggies, so good you bring your mom and them. Brunch every Saturday and Sunday. Right here, the Orleans in the Ville, 336 New Byhalia Road. Where great food, live music, and endless fun meet.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Witten Road.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back into the Family Leisure Studios. Don't forget, go see Billy, go see Lindsay. They still have the hot tub and swim spa. sale going on where you get those hot tubs at under $2,500. The in-stock patio furniture is 50% off. Special financing is available, and if you mention us, you get a free gift. It's usually pretty valuable if you were to get one of their hot tubs. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. And this portion of the show, as we get set to talk NFL with Jeff Moore, brought to you by ATC Fitness. The holidays are here. All right, you're going to make some sort of resolution to lose weight. Let me just tell you, this is the place to do it. 18 locations, family business. There's never a long-term commitment. They've got 2 different types of membership that you can get. It's always the latest equipment. They're open 24/7. So if you want to get up early in the morning and go lift some weights or get on the treadmill, get on the latest equipment, it's always open and it's always so clean. That's the best. ATC Fitness. Exercise your right to look good. Always looking good is our Jeff Moore.
Thank you, sir.
Almost as good as my Bears with that miraculous finish against the Packers. We had some great games this weekend.
Wow. Absolutely, we did. And certainly we got to be excited about what's going on in Chicago with the Bears, a young team that just brings in a new coach, new culture. I've been really impressed with Caleb Williams. Not that he's putting up big numbers, but he's been steady. He's not throwing interceptions. He's playing with himself. He's making the plays with his feet when he needs to. And that throw in overtime was epic. I mean, it's one of the best throws. The guy was covered, and the ball had to be placed where it was placed. It's been an amazing story, and we'll see if they can get into the playoffs. They're a dangerous.
Oh, they're in
team.
the playoffs.
I mean, obviously they're going to be in the playoffs, but they're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. It's been interesting to see Detroit struggle a little bit. I mean, if you told me before the game against the Steelers that one team was going to have over 200 yards rushing and the other team would have less than 20 yards rushing, I would think it would have been the other way around. And it's amazing to see this team be so inconsistent. To me, it speaks a lot about the difference coordinators make, frankly, because you got pretty much the same.
I was going to go there.
You've got the same players coming back, and they're just not as effective as a team. And I would have to look at Ben Johnson, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and the defensive side of the ball as well. They've taken a step back.
I would have to say at this point, I mean, the Bears have been terrible. Let's be honest. I would have to think Ben Johnson has to be the leading candidate maybe for Coach of the Year. Who else would it be? Well, it could be Denver, could be Seattle. They've had great years.
And Vrabel with the New England franchise has been amazing.
Which way would you go? Because Ben Johnson took a team that was awful, and here they are, 11-4, going to win a very hard division. The bad thing is, if the playoffs started today, the Bears would have to play the Packers in the first round. The NFL might love that. I don't know as a Bear fan if I'd love that.
Well, I would certainly vote for Ben Johnson as Coach of the Year because I think he had the heaviest lift in getting the Bears culture changed because that team has been losing for a long time. The Patriots have a history of winning. Denver goes in with a coach that has a history of turning teams around. But this is Ben Johnson's first head coaching job.
True. And a lot of people didn't know if it was really Dan Campbell or Ben Johnson.
So just amazing. And frankly, if they were to meet early in the playoffs, I mean, it would be a challenge for the Packers because Jordan Love, we just don't know. I mean, with the hit he took this past Sunday, he's obviously in concussion protocol, but he was. They were physically really handled in that game. It was just a tough physical game, which it always is in the NFC North.
Same thing happened in the first game.
Yeah, I mean it's the way that division, the way they play each other. But that was it's great. It's a great story. It's great when the Bears are relevant in NFL. And looking forward to them just continuing to build. I think they're ahead of schedule.
The Pittsburgh-Detroit game was another great game. The weirdest ending on a offensive pass interference that took literally 5 minutes to figure out. I don't know what they were thinking about. In the meantime, it negated what would have been the winning touchdown, and it gives Pittsburgh, I think, just about the lock. They're not mathematically in the playoffs, but Baltimore losing because of Lamar Jackson's injury later in the day.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh, it would be a major upset. They have to lose 2. Baltimore would have to win 2 for that to occur.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the offensive pass interference on the last play was definitely offensive pass interference. The receiver can't extend his arms away. That was done. But the play previous to that, they rarely call that pick play, and the defensive guy kind of pushed him a little bit. So that to me was a little more questionable. But I've been impressed with the Steelers. That with the game three games ago, they were booing and calling for Tomlin's firing, and they've been able to put together a good little string. Aaron Rodgers has really been done a great job of just leading this team offensively and as a leader in the locker room. But the Kenneth Gainwell catch, I mean, that was
How
what
about
got
Kenny
that offense
Gainwell?
going. I mean, they were kind of just mediocre until he made that play, and that offense started to really get themselves together. They break a couple of long runs, and they make it competitive. Detroit still had a chance to win, but that was a win that the Steelers needed. That locker room needed, and they absolutely, I think, have a chance. Baltimore, the Ravens just have not been the Ravens we're accustomed to seeing the last couple of years, offensively or defensively.
Did you see the injury on Lamar Jackson? It was just
hitting the back. Kind of a weird injury.
It was very odd because at first they were saying he was kneed in the ribs, and Chris Collinsworth going, well, usually those pads would protect that. And then the next thing you know, it's a back injury, which I never, like, if you look at the replay, you don't see it. I'm not sure that it really happened on the contact. It could have been the twist when he fell. Who knows? Yeah, but it's an innocuous kind of a play.
It is. And I think it had more to do with the way that he fell. But he's kind of been in and out of the lineup most of the year, and just not been the Lamar Jackson that we're accustomed to seeing in terms of his ability to make plays with his legs. And the Ravens have just been a team that has not played well defensively all year either.
And the Steelers are now 9-6. Just 3 games ago, they were calling for Tomlin's head, which was absolutely insanity. Anyway, how good do you think Pittsburgh really is? This is obviously going to be Aaron Rodgers' swan song, but he's looked good. I mean, he had 2 or 3 really great passes in that game.
He played a really great game, and he's doing a great job of just reading defenses and really putting them in the right plays at the right time. I think their success in the playoffs is going to be dependent on their ability to run the football, and they showed they can run it. And their ability to stop run. I mean, your classic thing that you need in playoff football is stopping the run and being able to run. This team is equipped to do both. Their defense, if they continue to play the way they played the last few weeks, will make a difference for them.
Denver, New England, and Seattle, all 12-3 now. So Seattle's the number 1 seed in the NFC. Drake May looked pretty good. A lot of people were saying he's the MVP of the AFC. Of those 3 teams, which are you most confident in?
I like the way the Patriots are playing because they're young, they've been consistent, and they're well coached. And their quarterback is really playing at an MVP level. Seattle, to me, has been a surprise, but they've won the way they need to win, when they've needed to win. I think between the two of them, I would have to say that I like the Patriots because of the way that they play. But of course, Buffalo went in there and just showed them that, hey, that we're still in the AFC East, and you're not going to dominate the AFC East. So I would say it's a razor thin choice between Seattle and the Patriots right now, for me.
Okay. Now at the 11-4 mark, Chicago, which got in because of the Detroit loss. They're still in the hunt, though. Detroit is. Indy, Baltimore, they are still in the race here. Jacksonville, the Chargers, Buffalo, all 11-4, but not in quite yet. The Rams at 11-4 are in. Out of the Jacksonville, Chargers, Bills, who makes it? Who doesn't?
You know, Jacksonville surprised me the way they went and were just really physical with Denver and on both sides of the ball, and they're probably the most least talked about 11-4 team this whole year.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and of course the Rams are there in the mix as well. I think they're a team that has Matt Stafford playing at the MVP level. I think they'll get Devontae Adams back, and they're going to be a factor as well. Man, it's neck and neck with them too. I think that's one of the beautiful things about the league this year. It's just no dominant teams in the AFC or the NFC.
Trevor Lawrence, is he the most improved player of the year?
Well, I think he's definitely improved his performance. This is by far the best he's played since he's been in the league. But it goes back to showing what a difference a good head coach. You know, their coach Liam Cohen comes from Tampa Bay.
Right.
I think it's his first head coaching job, and he's made a difference, I think, in the way that Trevor Lawrence has played this year. Certainly trends well for this team going forward when you've got a quarterback that's playing at the kind of level that he's playing right now.
Rams, they've got a guy who's won a Super Bowl, a quarterback. Is this the team in the NFC that you think is the number one contender?
The Rams and Seattle are right there neck and neck. I mean, 1 week is the Rams, the next week is Seattle. It's going to be, I think, between those two teams as far as the one that represents the NFL and the NFC, rather, in the Super Bowl. And, you know, Seattle wins the game in overtime this past weekend. They've got a slight edge, but the Rams are going to be there because I think they just play a little bit better defensively. We'll see.
If Baltimore doesn't have Lamar, they got a problem. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Indy's still got an outside chance. And here comes the best story maybe of this year with Grandpa Phillip Rivers, who looked so good last week after not playing for 5 years. Can he do it 2 weeks in a row? Monday Night Football is tonight. San Francisco needs to win to keep their thing going. They're in pretty good shape for the playoffs. They do have the Bears, by the way, the next game after this in San Francisco. Phillip Rivers, can he win tonight? What do you think happens in that game?
Man, I think Robert Saleh dials up some defense that creates some problems for Phillip Rivers. I think it's a great story. But the 49ers need to win this game. I think they're going to be all out, and they're going to be, I think, able to put the right plays together on offense and defense to win this game. I do.
All right. Merry Christmas, my friend. You and all of your family. We'll do this again next Tuesday. Hope you enjoy the holiday.
Thank you. You too.
That's our guy, former Vol, former Ram. That is Jeff Moore on the National Football League. He's brought to you by the Commissary. There's two of them. You know that by now. The famous commissaries. One in Germantown, the original, in that little cozy spot in old downtown Germantown, or the new one, the big one, at Poplar and Houston Levy Road. That's Collierville Commissary. And there's the good thing about the Collierville Commissary. They got an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet, Monday through Friday. You get 3 proteins. There's always going to be pork, and there's always going to be chicken. Then you get 5 sides, you get salad, you get a drink, and it's under $16. You can't beat that. You heard me. All the proteins, 3 of them you can eat. There's salad, there's 5 sides, and a drink, under $16 in that beautiful place. So accessible, so easy to get to it. Houston Levy and Poplar. And by the way, it's the place for all of your parties. If you still are in the market looking to have a Christmas party or some sort of office party, this is the place to go. And they cater. If you're having the party at the house, easy. Cater with the commissary. And by the way, if you want that either smoked turkey or the spiral ham for the holidays, you know they're famous for that bird. They deliver. Call, order now. It's not too late to get the bird at the commissary. Both places, Germantown and Collierville, they make everything special. We take a break. We got special medals, good and bad. We give them out. Landon Schmidt and I will give you the good and the bad in just a minute.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Remember the song, How Many More Times? That's right, the title of the song that fits in right with what I always tell people. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Store Realtors. Before you put your house on the market, I always tell people to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to not only find out what they think of your home and its pricing, but more important, what they will do for you. And make sure that I am one of them. There are keys to my highly successful strategic marketing program that involve preparing your house for the market and being able to present it before any objections take place. I've done this for a long time, and my professional team has one goal in mind: to get you to the closing table making as much money as possible. But first, remember what people often say: when you want the job done, call Shell Done at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Remember, how many more times? That's Shell Done at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546, and tell me the name of the band that sang that song.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme Cannabis, that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. Let me ask you something. Are you seeing unsightly water spots on your ceiling, in your home, your office, or even worse, mold? Have you noticed shingles missing, pieces in your yard, or signs your roof just doesn't look right anymore? Here's the facts. What you see inside usually means there's already a bigger problem above you. At Metro Builders, we don't just guess, we inspect. Our team performs a full roof inspection right on site. We take detailed photos, document everything, and show you exactly what's happening with your roof. Whether it's a simple repair or a full replacement, don't let anyone tell you it needs to be replaced when all it needs is a repair. We offer free inspections, on-the-spot estimates, clear explanations, and yes, financing is available. Before a small issue turns into major damage, make the phone call that protects your home. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. Or check us out online at metrobuildersmemphis.com. Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We don't just build, we build world class.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Today's fun fact, the Malco Theater's popcorn you crave is now available during Grizzlies games at the FedEx Forum. Be sure to grab an extra bag for the post-game drive home. Need more? Order online at malco.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
News coming up this morning Bill Belichick has a new OC. I can't imagine this working out. I could be wrong. Bobby Petrino, formerly the interim coach at Arkansas, has landed with Bill Belichick, who's trying to garner some reputation as a college coach after his Hall of Fame NFL career. I don't really get it with Petrino. I mean, what did he do this year under Sam Pittman or without Sam Pittman that really meant he had Taylor Green's not a bad quarterback. I'm not saying this is a great team, but I don't get the infatuation with him. He had the couple of years that he was really good with the Arkansas Razorbacks, but he's had several other stops that I never thought where he hit a home run or a grand slam. Interesting. But that is the new dynamic duo in Chapel Hill. We do a thing every Monday we call precious or not so precious metals. I got to give my first bronze to Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby. He had a goal and an assist against Montreal last night. That pushes him past Mario Lemieux as the greatest point achiever in the history of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, they're not an original six team, but what makes this so impressive, one, he gets past Lemieux, who's one of the great players of all time, but also he becomes the number 8 scorer and assister in NHL history. So, over 20 years now, Sidney Crosby has 645 goals and 1,079 assists in 1,387 games. 8th all-time. That is significant. I got to give Cam Spencer, even though the Grizzlies took it on the chin, blew a 20-point lead. I'll get to that in a minute. But Cam Spencer had 19 points. That means 10 straight games off the bench that Mr. Spencer has scored in double digits. Believe it or not, that is the longest streak of double-digit points by a bench player in the NBA at this moment. He's the record holder at the moment. I give a silver medal to the Miami Hurricane. Remember how many people said they shouldn't have been in? The only reason they got in was they had to have an ACC team, which might be right. They proved they should be there. They really did. They took down mighty A&M, which surprised me. And more surprising was the score, 10-3 in College Station. Miami shuts down A&M, beats the Aggies by that one, scored one touchdown and a field goal, and it was enough. Shocked the heck out of me. So now A&M will Miami, will take on Ohio State. Alabama, Indiana, that's pretty good. Georgia, Ole Miss, that's pretty good. I'm getting to them in a second. And then Oregon and Texas Tech. Can't wait for all these games. They're all good. The only one that on paper seems to be a mismatch is Miami and Ohio State. 9.5-point difference. Not sure about that. And then I give Pete Golding, Trinidad Chambliss. They did it all without Lane Kiffin. He made $250,000 from LSU because those two guys engineered a win. You knew they were going to beat Tulane. They beat him by 5 touchdowns. First time they met, this time they beat him by 31. 41-10. And now they are set to take on Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. That line, by the way, is 6.5 Bulldogs. We'll see if that plays out. Interested in that. And then my gold goes to the Chicago Bear Green Bay Packer rivalry, the oldest rivalry in the NFL. One of the oldest rivalries in all of professional sports. Green Bay has definitely inched ahead since Favre and then Rodgers came on the scene, and for that matter, Jordan Love too. But the Bears won the last one. They split this season, and you know that if the playoffs started today, the Bears is the 2 seed, would take on Green Bay as the 7. I hope something changes there. That needs to be later in the playoffs.
I agree. That's really exciting. Well, for my first bronze, I got to give a bronze to both Oregon and Ole Miss, who both just took care of business in round one for the college football playoffs. There's been a lot of controversy around Group of Five being in the playoffs, that they shouldn't be there. But I also have to just tip my cap. Don't necessarily know if I'm going to give a medal to James Madison, because it was a lot of second half.
Scored a lot of points.
They did. Scored way more than Texas A&M did, and a lot more than Tulane did. But it was a lot of second half points. But Alonzo Barnett still had over 200 yards passing. Wade Knight had 110 yards rushing. So I got to tip my cap to them. But Oregon and Ole Miss both took care of business in the first round. There was really never any doubt with these guys. Dante Moore for Oregon had over 300 yards passing, 4 TDs, a couple interceptions. Malik Benson had over 100 yards receiving. Ole Miss, it's hard to believe that they were only 4 points off from their regular season win over Tulane when they won 45-10, and now this time only win 41-10. So very, very good for them. I'm going to give another bronze medal to Montana State versus Montana in the semifinals for the FCS playoffs. That was a really exciting game, and I don't know, Wolo, how much you've been paying attention to the FCS bracket or FCS football as a whole, but Montana State has been playing great all year long.
Oh, yeah.
They've been doing fantastic.
Well, the state of Montana owns FCS, apparently.
They absolutely do. And Montana State and Montana was just a great matchup all the way to the end. The rushing attack for Montana State was what really did it over. Adam Jones, Julius Davis, Justin Lamson, all of these guys rushed incredibly, had multiple TDs, and now they will be facing Illinois State in the championship for the FCS as Illinois State beat Villanova this past weekend in probably the worst time slotted game known to man. It was in the afternoon, right in the middle of college football playoffs and in NFL games. I don't think there were any eyes on that game. Maybe later this week, Joe Dank can tell you if there was any eyes on that at all. And then just real quickly, just to give a small little shout out and a bronze medal to Tyler Shuck, who has now led the Saints to 3 straight wins, and he had over 300 yards passing and a TD in their win yesterday.
Yeah, they got 5 wins now, huh?
They do. 5 wins on the year, 3 straight. I mean, this guy deserves a shout-out. I don't know if he's the answer to all the problems for the Saints, but they're definitely moving in the right direction right now. My first silver medal actually comes out of women's college basketball. Audie Crooks for Iowa State. She had 41 points in 30 minutes.
Have you seen this girl?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
She looks like she would have trouble running back and down, up and down a court.
Yes.
She's, I don't know how to put it. She looks like she's overweight. I guess that's the best way I can say. But they can't stop her.
They can't. Well, and if you watch that game, for her to just go down, time, get the ball, quick layup, no double teams, no coaching adjustments. That was a very bad move on Kansas's part, but she did incredible and led them to a win. I have to give a silver medal to Jalen Buckley from Western Michigan, who had 172 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter of their slapping against Kennesaw State. That is video game numbers.
I felt bad for Jerry Mack. That team
I felt bad for them
play.
too, but Western Michigan's rushing attack has just barely been stopped all year long, and it was not going to be stopped in that game. My biggest silver medal, I could not give it a gold because of some certain players missing, but the Titans now have 3 wins on the year. The Cardinals by a miracle, battle of not so great teams with the Browns, and now to add to that tally, a win over the Chiefs.
The Chiefs didn't even have first off, no Patrick. Secondly, Minshew gets hurt. Come on.
It was Mahomesless, and it ended up being Minshewless, but there was still Chris Jones out there, Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, Hollywood Brown. You've still got all those players.
They got nothing to play for. They were eliminated.
But it was
like a homeless game.
Yes, it was. But it definitely points to the importance of having a great star quarterback at the helm. And my biggest silver medal of this game, however, has to go to Cam Ward. This has been his 3rd straight game with multiple passing touchdowns and multiple passing over 200 yards passing, as he went 228, 2 TDs. And this is also Tony Pollard's 3rd straight game with more than 100 yards rushing in there as that. And the reason that this was such a big win for the Titans is that this is their first home win since November 3rd of 2024. It has been over a year since these guys have won at home, so that was huge. huge.
By the way, Pollard, Gainwell, Henderson all played great yesterday.
They all did, and they have been playing great football for the past multiple weeks. So shout out Memphis players. I have two quick golds. The first one, I have to go back to Thursday Night Football that delivered possibly the game of the year between the Seahawks and the Rams.
Great game.
That matchup, the Puka Nacua game with over 200 yards receiving, Seahawks rushing attack, the craziest two-point conversion ever in recent memory. Great comeback win. It was awesome. And then my other one, Mike Tomlin, 19th straight season, has never had a losing season.
I love it. To Russ, quickly, Grizzlies can't blow a 20-point lead to a team that had lost 7 in a row. Oh, my goodness, that was terrible. And DK Metcalf, in the game with Detroit, a Detroit fan called him over, and apparently, according to the guy, all he said was his full name, which I don't remember, but he said DK, whatever, Darius Kendrick or something like that, and he grabbed him and hit him. DK Metcalf's going to get suspended a game for this, I got a feeling.
I believe so. I just have one quick rust. Texas A&M had more fan ejections from their games than they had points scored in that game. One of those fan ejections including throwing eggs, which I did not have on my bingo card for college football playoffs. So that was rather crazy.
And those are our medals. Brought to you by Southern Security. You know, I had a guy come up to me down in Starkville, a Tiger fan, who said, "You are so right about that unbelievable branch in Collierville, right by Bill Morris Parkway. The place is so beautiful, and if you need cash, you can refinance your auto loan with Southern Security. You won't have a payment for 60 days. They will finance up to 115% of the current value of your vehicle for up to 72 months. You can find out just how you can put more cash in your pocket by calling a service member at 901-452-7900, or you can apply on the website at southernsecurity.org. Big supporter of Tigers. They are your home team credit union. Southern Security, federally insured by NCUA, and now with 7 locations. And don't forget, between now and Christmas Eve, if you go to any Landers and you say Wolotion 1222, they'll give you $1,000, either a check or off your purchase. 1222 Wolotion at any Landers. That'll do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning bright and early. Johnny Radio comes your way in a minute.